Alright, we got white pieces. I will play e4. And the opponent played e5. I will develop the knight to attack the pawn. So he's protecting. And I'm thinking right now to play d4. And if he take, I will develop my bishop. He didn't take. That's a pawn, right? So I have two options, either to attack this knight or take the pawn to attack this one, right? But if I take this pawn to attack this knight, he will take my pawn. What if I push the pawn to attack this knight? He come here. Okay, let's push the pawn to attack this knight. Even if he come here, it will be okay. Alright, so he pushed the knight. Now if I push this pawn to attack this knight, he will take my knight. There is no threat yet. He can develop the dark bishop with check. But if he do that, I can do this fork. So let's develop this knight. If he take this knight, I will take with my queen, so this pawn will be still protected. I think taking with the queen is okay. Next, maybe I will develop the light bishop and castle. There is no threat from this knight, so it's only development. Okay, let's shall I put the bishop here or here? That's the question now. If I put it here, it will be passive move. But I think here it will be more useful. Okay, let's put it here. I don't think sacrifice here is a good idea. Next I will castle. So the opponent castle, let's do the same. And he pushed this pawn. I think he is planning to develop the light bishop to attack my queen. If you do that, I move my queen here. And then the plan is to put the bishop there, threatening a checkmate idea. But I can, yeah. If I move the queen here, he maybe move the knight to attack my queen, but then I take the bishop. Okay, let's move the knight here to attack the bishop. I'm protecting this pawn. He cannot take. If he moves the light bishop here, I will just move my queen at the same line as his king. And then I will develop the dark bishop. And also, this is a move to move the rook here to e1 in order to keep protecting this pawn, because this pawn is very important. So again, if he develop the bishop here, I will just move the queen to attack this pawn, and then I will develop my dark bishop to this square. So he moved the dark bishop here. So if I develop the dark bishop, he will be attacking this pawn. But what if I push the c pawn to attack the bishop? He has to go all the way back. And if I take right now, he will take with the pawn. That will be an very advanced pawn. But taking the pawn will be easy because it will be weak. Okay, let's take the bishop. And now I can push this pawn to attack this one. And if he take, I take back with this pawn. And then I will have a good center. Or I can ignore right now and develop my dark bishop here to pin this knight. Okay, let's attack the pawn. So he take, we take back. Maybe I will put the bishop here. Now he's attacking the queen, so we have to be careful. I will move my queen here. So yeah, if he take that pawn, that will be a blunder. Because the knight is the only piece that protecting this bishop. Okay, so he pushed this pawn. Right now I can push this one to attack the bishop, and once he move I can take this one. I don't think it's a good move by the opponent. Like for now, if I attack the bishop like this, he has to move the bishop, and then I won this pawn. So he moved back, and now I can take this pawn, and I'm threatening a checkmate. Because this pawn is pinned, he cannot take. Now this pawn is not protected. So once maybe he pushed this pawn, I have to do something to protect this one. Maybe moving the bishop here would be a good idea, so I can have this line. Or even pushing the pawn, but he can take. I can also move the rock here to e1 to keep protecting, but I like more putting the bishop here. And at some point I push this one. And yeah, I will have the bishop targeting his king. That would be a good idea. But I have to be careful about the clock. Because right now I have almost 4 minutes or 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, so he protect the pawn this way. That's definitely a good move. Because right now he's protecting the pawn and attacking my queen. And I cannot keep my queen on this line because he has the queen and the bishop. So what to do now? Maybe putting the queen here to attack the knight. So if he take, I take his knight. I think this is the move. Yeah, I'm leaving the bishop unprotected, but I'm attacking the knight. I don't think it's a good idea to take my bishop and leave the knight. Okay, so he's attacking the bishop. Hmm. So if I take the knight, he take my bishop. So if I take the knight, he can take this bishop or this one. I think I will move my bishop here so I can threat the checkmate later on. So he still can take my bishop. And if he do that, I will take the knight. What? That's a queen, bro. He put it just in front of my bishop. I will take the queen. I don't know what was that. Now I'm hit by 10 points. I'm expecting that he will resign. Okay, that's even more material. I will take the knight, letting him to take the bishop. And I will push this pawn to threat this check, but it's not a checkmate. Let's instead take the pawn, or let's push this pawn to threat this check. Okay, so he's just trading pieces, and I will if I push the pawn, he will take this one, so let's take. He can even, yeah, he can take it. That was a silly move by me. So I will take this file now. And I will move my rock here. I can do this check. Okay, not anymore. Let's take. And I will move my rock here. Okay, now I will take this pawn. And I will take this one. And I will give him this check. And this check. We take. And now we just clean the board and try to promote. Okay, now we give him this check. We keep checking the king until it's a checkmate. Now he moved back, so that's checkmate. GG. That was a good game. Yeah, let's have a look at the game review. Yeah, so we did a good game, and the accuracy is 80%. We don't have any blunders. Especially no, we have one blunder, and of course it's the queen move by the opponent. And yeah, if we start the review, so all these stuff are opening moves. And yes, that was a new, or something that, like, I spent a lot of time on this, because it's not every time happens when I do this move. Normally they take the pawn, but for this game they didn't take, they developed the other knight. And pushing the pawn is a good move, but what if we said if I take the pawn, it's the best move, and he take this one. Okay, I move the queen to attack the knight, and then he cannot go back to this square, so he has to go to c5, and then you continue developing as normal. So he has to go back again. So taking the pawn for black caused them to move the knight a couple of times, which is not really good. And that's why maybe the engine is suggesting to take the pawn and to attack this knight, even if they can able to take back the pawn. But instead, what I did, I pushed the pawn to attack the other knight, which is fine. But yeah, here the engine is suggesting to undevelop the knight, which is very interesting for me. So moving the knight forward is not good. And I missed this. So the engine suggesting to take the pawn instead of doing a development move. If I take and they take back, it looks weird. Oh, yeah, okay, I got it now. Because the pawn is the main piece that protecting this knight. I didn't see it, to be honest. So once they move forward, and look at the evaluation bar, it's all for white. So the only piece that protecting this knight is this pawn. And yeah, you can take the pawn, and it's a free pawn, because black cannot take this one since this knight is under attack. Very interesting. Wow. And they cannot escape. If they go there, you take with the bishop. If they go here, you take with the pawn. If they go back, you take with this pawn. So the knight is actually trapped everywhere. Okay, that's something that I need to keep in mind for next games. So we did that. We developed the knight. Yeah, the whole time I was thinking about to keep protecting this pawn. So that's why when they took the knight, I took back with my queen, not with the knight. Okay, you mastered a skill. Thank you. Okay. And yeah, from here, oops. Yeah, we developed the light bishop, and we were like thinking about if putting the bishop here or here is the best, or even here. We move it to c4. What if we move it to d3? It's also good. It's maybe even better than moving it to c4. Okay, we did the castle, and yeah, pushing that pawn was the best move, so they can develop their light bishop, and they move the dark bishop forward. And it was yeah, I was thinking, yeah, they could just move the bishop back, but they choose to move it to d4. And I was like a bit hesitating between taking the bishop or not, because they will have a very advanced pawn, but we said it's a weak one, so we can fight and take it back. So once we take, they took back with the pawn. Pushing this pawn is not really a good move. It's not a good move because he can take another pawn. And instead, what we could do to develop the dark bishop to pin the knight. Okay, so we took back with the pawn, and yeah, we were expecting this move. So because he was about to develop or finish the development, and the last piece was the light bishop, and we were thinking about he will move the bishop to attack our queen. But I was waiting for this move to move my queen to a better place at the same line as their king. And that was a mistake indeed, because right now we have the chance to kick this bishop, and the engine is suggesting, yeah. So kicking out the bishop with the f pawn is better than doing it with the h pawn. Yeah, I did it because this is the very normal move that we all do. But yeah, indeed, pushing the f pawn is really better, because you have this pawn chain, which is very nice. And at the same time you kick this bishop away, so you can do this. But instead we push the h pawn, and the engine is not, yeah, the engine doesn't like this move. He really likes moving the f pawn instead. So they moved all the way back, and we got the chance to take the free pawn, and they found this move. And because of the knight is not protected, I was like, okay, let's target the knight, because I have no other option to protect the bishop. And that was an interesting move. They attack the light bishop, and they totally forgot about my dark bishop, because I thought, okay, maybe they will take, I will take back the knight. But I think maybe they were thinking about the king's safety, to not make the king exposed. So they saw that my light bishop is unprotected, and they immediately attack the bishop, which is fine. We found better place for this bishop, and they did this blunder. And yeah, here it's just simple game, because you just accept any trade. And yeah, the engine is suggesting to move the rook to e8, so we give the check and we force trading the rook. Instead we went to the 7 rank. So now we have the check with the queen on f7, but they offered to trade the rook. So even after this move, yes, okay, it's mate in 2. It's mate in 2, because even if they are attacking the rook, you just give the check. The only square that is left for the king is here or there, and you take the pawn, and that's a checkmate. I saw this check, but I didn't follow the sequence. Like I just saw the check. I didn't think about continuing the attack. And instead we took the rock, and we took the e file again, and here is just simplifying the position, and we choose just to keep it like that, getting another queen and do the checkmate. And that was the full game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. For me, I'm keep learning in every episode, and I do one episode per week. It will be a kind of slow journey to the 1500. As I said before, yes, the target is to reach the 1500 right now, but it's also to improve the chess episode one by one. So yes, that was it for this episode. Until the next time, take care.